Hey, I'm Sierra of Yoko and Sierra, and today I'm gonna make some vegan ribs. So I've done this with seitan before, but I recently saw a recipe where they used jackfruit and Impossible Burger. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna add one little extra thing to it, but we're gonna start off. I'm gonna take this is basically water and vegetable bouillon. And so the first thing that we're gonna do is boil our jackfruit. So the reason I do this, it adds flavor to the jackfruit, but then also the other thing is that it kind of helps get out that brine flavor. So I'm gonna put this in. I'm gonna also add some smoked paprika, not sweet paprika, make sure it's smoked. And then some vegan liquid smoke. And I'm also gonna add a little bit of vegan Worcestershire. So this is garlic powder. So I'm gonna just give this a stir, mix in the seasonings I added, and then I'm just gonna cover it and bring this up to a simmer. While this is heating up, I'm gonna go ahead and start on the Impossible Burger. So I've got 2 cans of jackfruit. Make sure it's the young jackfruit in brine and not the sweet jackfruit. And then right here I've got 2 packages of Impossible Burger. I'm gonna go ahead and season this up. So I'm gonna start with some liquid smoke, some vegan liquid smoke. And then I'm also gonna add in here some vegan Worcestershire sauce. And a little bit of liquid aminos, or if you have soy sauce, that works too. You don't need a lot. And then whatever vegan barbecue sauce you like, you can make your own. This is gonna be pretty quick and easy, so I'm just using store-bought. And you don't need a lot, like a couple tablespoons is all that I put in there for that. And now we're gonna go ahead and add the dry. So I've got garlic powder. Gonna add some onion powder. About a tablespoon or 2. And then I'm also gonna add chili powder. You don't want a lot of this, just a little. So maybe a teaspoon, teaspoon and a half. And smoked paprika. You can be liberal with the smoked paprika. And then this ingredient's optional, but I'm gonna go ahead and add it because I like it. It's a smoked turmeric. Basically, any of the smoked seasonings you have are gonna be good in this. And then I'm gonna add a little pepper. And you can just kind of eyeball that. So now that we've got all the seasonings in here, we're gonna go ahead and mix it all up. And then what we'll do is we'll take this jackfruit, which is gonna be ready very soon. And once we cool it down, we're gonna mix the jackfruit into this. So this is all mixed in. So at this point, this is simmered for a little bit, not too long, just long enough for the flavor to infuse. So long enough for it to come up to kind of like a rolling boil, and then bring it down to a simmer for a few more minutes. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, we're gonna strain it. I'm gonna pop it in the freezer for a few minutes just to cool it off enough for me to be able to handle it. And then we'll mix this into our ground meat mixture. So, you know how when you eat ribs, when you have like good barbecue and you're eating ribs, there's like a fattiness to it? We're going to use the rice paper to simulate that kind of fattiness. So we're gonna just take rice paper and we're just gonna kind of shred in these little strips into the warm water. So I've got 4 pieces of rice paper. If you're making a smaller batch of this and you're using 1 can of jackfruit and 1 package of Impossible Burger, you could do this with just 2 pieces of rice paper. And it's okay if these don't come out in perfect strips. It's okay if they kind of shred or break. So it does not take long for the rice paper to get really soft. And so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna pull it out of here. I'm gonna squeeze off a little bit of the excess water, and we'll add it to the meat mixture over here. Now that the jackfruit is cooled off, I'm gonna squeeze out the excess liquid and shred it right into the bowl. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add just a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. And then we're gonna mix this up. So now we're gonna take, and now we've got our meat mixture, and I'm gonna go ahead and pour it out in the pan. You can use parchment. I've got like a silicone mat that I'm gonna use. And so basically what I'm doing is I'm just gonna form this out into kind of like a slab. I'm gonna take some, what I've got right now is I've got some chopsticks, and I'm basically just using them to kind of mark off my ribs. The jackfruit gives it the shred that you would get in like a rib, and then the rice paper gives it the kind of fatty texture, and the Impossible Burger holds it all together. So this is gonna go into the oven. I'm gonna put it in a 400-degree oven for about... After about 35 minutes, this is what we got. Coat it with your favorite barbecue sauce and then pop it back in the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes. And this is what they look like when we're finished. Guys, look at that amazing texture. Smoky flavor. Give these a try. You will not be disappointed.